Today we're going to talk about the city that almost was, and I need you to play along with me. I want you to imagine you're on a windswept hillside like this. Right behind you is the Golden Gate Bridge and San Francisco. The Pacific Ocean, it stretches miles and miles out in front of you. Now, wipe that image from your head, and I want you to think about a city. Let's say a city of over 30,000 people. Dog. There's 40 or 50 high-rise apartment buildings. There are schools and shopping centers, single-family homes. Well, that's where we're going today. We're going to a place that was called Marincello, a place that I was at literally this morning, walking the dogs with my wife. But first, we have a stop to make, and I think you're gonna like it. Let's go. Okay, I'm here doing some research. This is the coolest thing ever. Going through these documents just gives me this incredible sense of what was slated to happen at Marincello. Why didn't it? So I think the thing that got me really interested in this story, it was the people. And it was what the people did against the steepest of odds. Now, I know this was over 60 years ago and things were different, but people got together and fought for something that they believed in. And if you want to understand this story, the first thing we have to understand is we have to understand the land. So when developers came across this land and looked around, they had to be frickin' salivating. There was nothing here in the 1960s, and this land was ripe for development. And just for a second, we have to put ourselves in the shoes of developers in the 1960s. It was all about progress. It was all about getting things ready for the future. And this place, it was so close to San Francisco, an area that was running out of developable land, that this was literally a godsend. Why did it remain untouched? Because the military owned it. Starting in the 1850s, the U.S. government took over the Marin Headlands, building Fort Baker and Barry and Cronkhite in the area. The goal was to protect the San Francisco Bay Area, so they installed bunkers and gun batteries, forts, barracks, Nike missile sites, the works. And then over time, these things became less relevant. Things cooled off, technology changed, and they no longer really needed this land. Enter Thomas Frug. Frug was a real estate developer from Pittsburgh with big ideas, and when he came across the Marin Headlands and he saw all of this land, he saw California's next great city. So he pitched an idea, and that idea was Marincello. Marincello would be a brand new planned community with over 30,000 residents, 50 high-rise apartment buildings planned. There would be single-family homes, townhouses, shopping centers, schools, and a multi-lane roadway leading across the Golden Gate Bridge right into San Francisco. He had an idea, and that idea was a city right here. And Frug, he wasn't some small-time guy. He had major backing. One of his biggest supporters was Gulf Oil. They saw this project here as a way to diversify their holdings, to kind of get out of oil a little bit less and into real estate. So how was Gulf Oil going to make that happen? Well, it was the 60s in California, and gaming the system was not out of the question. So they knew if they could get to the Marin County Board of Supervisors, they might be able to change a few laws in their favor, and it would be full steam ahead. Suddenly, the land was reclassified for planned residential use. Translation? They could build whatever they wanted. No public oversight, no environmental review. The project was approved with zero concern for traffic, wildlife, or the coastline. They were able to keep the people of Marin County in the dark about this whole thing. And by the time the people got wind of it, well, this thing, it was full steam ahead. And really, at this point, it should have been game over. I mean, if you think about one of the largest oil companies in the world, these developers, they had the politicians in their pocket, the permits were in place. I don't know how they were going to stop this. Well, it turns out that one small town lawyer, Robert Praetzel, could throw sand in the gears, and that's what he did. And to me, this is the most beautiful part of the story. This is about one man who got this thing started, one man who saw what was going on here in the Marin Headlands, and he knew it was wrong. He knew what was going on shouldn't be going on, and he had to do something, anything, to stop it. Praetzel was a local attorney. He went to school over at Cal Berkeley, and he spent a lot of time here in the Headlands hiking with his dogs and his wife, and really loved this area. And he took it upon himself. He took it upon himself to fight the large oil company, to fight the developers, to go up against the board of supervisors. And he did it all for free because it was the right thing to do. So he did what attorneys do and started digging into the details. And what did he find? Well, he found the zoning changes were illegally approved. The environmental impact report, never studied, and the public completely left out of the decision-making process. So what did he do? He did another thing that lawyers do. He sued. Now, Praetzel started alone, but once word got out what was going on around here, people started to join the fight because they knew it was wrong, and if it happened, they would never get this land back. There's one person in particular who I want to call out, and that is Martha Gerbode. Now, Martha did two really important things. First, she contributed money to the legal efforts that were going on to stop the development of this pristine land. Then, Martha gifted $6.5 million to the Nature Conservancy to buy and hold the land in question. The land was held in trust and later given to the national park. So instead of condos and homes and shopping centers and schools, we got open space, we got trails, we got a place where my wife and I can bring our dogs to run on the beach. This place is really special. And if you make it here, if you make it to this part of the world, do yourself a favor, come out here and spend some time, because it's unbelievable that this place is so close to San Francisco and so undeveloped. Okay. One of the benefits of having a vehicle like this is I'm a little early for the sunset. And I think I might take a little bit of a nap. This is a story with a happy ending because it's about a group of people who got together and did the right thing. They fought the oil company and the developers and the politicians. They banded together because they knew it was the right thing to do. And if they didn't do the right thing, if they didn't turn that development around away, and this wasn't a national park, this video, it might be a story about a city called Marincello instead of a national park. So if you've ever been out here, I would love to hear from you. Drop a comment, tell me your favorite hike, favorite area out here. And if you liked the video, share it with someone, because this is a story about regular people doing extraordinary things. And I think that's worth sharing.